we're not like having food. We are not having food for them. That's the idea. Bro, like okay, bring the food, bring the food.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Cesar Ramirez. I'm your MCP PD. So we're going to start with the third webinar. We're just going to wait maybe 3 minutes for more people to join. So yeah, we're going to wait. Maybe I will play one roll call.
Perfect.
And then we can start. Oh, wait.
Some of that just a choose and have me there round at the same spot. When she walk in, the whole place get quiet. So the girl look, trust me, I think shot. But I know the first time it's a girl and she had over that woman. Soon as we are them make far. Listen myself a carry her for my tour. How much girls I'm 100 and more. It's never reached before me, no know about. I love the way she looks. A pretty face and smile like a whole on me. And the way she moves. You know the dance when I'm carrying on her body. Get away, she smile. This girl I don't wanna share with nobody. It didn't take no time. I'm about to fall in love from one time. Just one, only one, only one, two of the one. Tell your body yes, I want you to sit and turn it. Wine and rock out, girl. Wine and rock out, girl. Wine and rock out, girl. Tell your body yes, I want you to sit and turn it. Yo, I'm holding on to she waistline while her body bounce to the baseline. Tell her this girl are the best wine, and I'm single, so now is the best time. Walk she up while she wind me down. Think she my queen, I'll give her the crown. I've been dealing with woman a long time, but I never feel so from one wine. I love the way she looks, her pretty face and smile got a hold on me. And the way she moves, in the dance when I'm turning on her body. Get away, she smile. This girl I don't wanna share with nobody. It didn't take no time. I'm about to fall in love from one wine. Just one.
Okay, perfect. So now we can start. We have some people have joined. So welcome everyone to the third session of Get the Gold, your national sales marathon. So as you already know, we're having this weekly webinars on sales in order to get to know, for you to get some skills on sales, which is for sure a very necessary knowledge, and also to improve our results in IGT. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you to Dinara, and maybe she can talk a little bit about her IS experience, and she will deliver this session to you. So welcome, Dinara.
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm really glad to deliver this session, and I did my best to make it as short as possible and very useful for you guys, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So let me share the screen, and we can go to presentation itself. Cesar, can you confirm? Do you guys see it?
Yes, we can all see it.
Okay, perfect. So welcome to Networking for Dummies. It's pretty interesting name for the session. Anyways, quite exciting. So agenda for today, I'm going to share about who am I and why am I delivering this session. and what experience I have and what's my background. Also, we're gonna talk a little about sales, and we are mostly gonna talk about networking. And then I'm gonna share some tips and tricks for that, and we will have space for question and answers. So just be ready for that. So let's start from me. Well, I was part of ISEC in Kyrgyzstan, and I was part of ISEC in Cambodia. I joined ISEC in 2012. Um, well, actually, I was fresh graduate. I was on last year at university. I was studying international relations, and I was specialist in global migration process. I was quite active member. I joined local committee, and starting from second week, I guess, I started to apply for different roles. And I was really excited about ISEC experience because I had some friends who were in ISEC, and I saw how awesome what awesome experience they have. And I also wanted to try to be in this cross-cultural environment. And there were so many opportunities, but of course I choose something related to sales and project management because by then I was really, really interested in that. I was studying international relations, but when I joined ISEC, I realized that I want something different. And by then, yes, I applied for local committee vice president position for external relations. And after a few months, since timeline was changed, I applied for national support team for external relations, and I was supporting member committee with partnerships and stuff. And after that, I decided to make a brave step, and I applied for MCVP BD position, which was actually first time in our country we had someone who would lead this department, and it was me who was piloting everything, like CRM, sales, everything related to that. And after 1 year, which was great, I decided to run for international experience and continue my ISEC journey because it was simply great. I was working with different companies. I was networking a lot with NGO companies, government, and I really like it, and I wanted to develop it more. So I applied for Cambodia for MCVP BD. And there I was working with huge companies such as Coca-Cola. And we had one of the leading mobile operators, which was Smart Taxiata. And we also had a huge holding, which was RMA. Maybe you heard about these cars, Fords, and there are like so many food brands there. So we also had partnership with them. Annual revenue, like cost for 1 year partnership with each partner was $8,000, which was gold package. And we had 3 big gold partners. Actually, they were premium, so $8,000 each. And also I raised another companies for entertainment and then educational, like silver package, like $2,000 and stuff. And I also supported exchanges with TN Race. So we had pretty good number in GIP sales. I was supporting that department, and even GCDP. Now it's GC, right? And after this amazing experience, I realized that now I have a huge experience knowing ISEC internally and externally, and then I ran for MCP. Back in my country, I was member committee president of ISEC in Kyrgyzstan, and I had another awesome team experience, and I'm really grateful for that. And I would encourage you guys to go for all these roles in ISEC because this is a really amazing opportunity. And of course, besides ISEC, I had another corporate experience in sales and business development. I was business development manager at the core profi company, and it was number one or like leading company in the country in terms of retailing of furniture and furniture accessories. And I was starting everything from scratch. The good thing is the CEO, he knew that ISIC exists in our country, and by then one of our members was on the networking event, and he got to know about. He got to meet a CEO of this company, and then he got some good chats, and then he got brilliant idea that it's really good to network with ISICers because these guys are really doers and they are doing so many amazing projects in the country. And of course, he wanted to source these talents after ISIC's experience in his company. So one of them, it was me, actually, the first one. So I started to work in this company. I worked there 2 years. And first day when I came for interview, he was really impressed. And then he simply said that he wants me to really develop the company and make it top one, because by then it was maybe a second or third company in the market, but still well known. And then he said, I really want you, Dinara, to help me to make this company number one. And I really want you to help me in terms of business development, increase sales and work on the image and branding and improve operations and even HR stuff. So I did everything. And for 2 years, I raised few partners from Italy, from Austria, from Germany, Turkey, and China. And this company became number one. I worked also on PR and on event management, was handling exhibitions. Well, after these 2 years, I left to Cambodia for my MCP experience. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I hope you see now. Yes, and I went to Cambodia, and when I came back, I was hunted to one of the big telecommunication companies in our country. It's also top one, which is Beeline. In other countries, European countries, it well known as VEON. I was international communications and people engagement specialist, so I was also doing so many networking events internally in a company, making sure that people are engaged and making sure that they are aligned with business model and business targets of the company. And I had to work with different teams from all departments, and I was delivering these huge events and working on agenda and operations. So pretty big thing. But now I'm working in Electrolux. I forgot to mention here. And then I applied for GT experience for internship in Electrolux. And now I'm working there as project coordinator. And I'm delivering 3 big events in the company. So it's 100th anniversary. Also annual top management meeting, and we are having new program, Better Living program, and yeah, I'm part of that team. So it's pretty much about my experience, and I think that now we can move to the main thing. Oi, sorry. Yeah, now we can move to the next thing about sales. So like in my whole experience in sales, which is around 5 years experience in sales, I would say that this is most simple way to understand what sales are about, is just through sales cycle. So first thing is establish the relationship. That's the first thing you do. And second, recognize the need. Third, form a solution. Fourth is deliver and close the sale. Follow up and focus on the retention. So it's pretty simple for start and complicated, but today we're gonna talk only about this part, establish relationship, because it comes with the network. So first thing you do, even out of sales part, even when you're meeting new friends, you are going to a party, you are going whatever, you're establishing a new relationship. You are meeting new people, you are talking to them, you are get to know them, and then you decide, will you keep this forward or not. So let's move to the networking part itself, because this is really important thing for any sales activity, because this is how you meet new partners, this is how you create these spaces for collaboration, and this is how you are making sure that you are going to deliver sales. Important things to mention, that for any networking event you are going, you need to do your homework. So at first of all, you need to understand what type of event you are going to attend, because there are so many events happening, but you need to prioritize some of them. You need to just prioritize things you want to see. You want to see in the networking event. Is it just and whom you are gonna see there, and it will be really good if you'll get prepared for that, just to check what is this event about, who are attendees, what are the main objectives, so it can give you some picture to somehow understand where are you going, whom are you gonna meet, and what can you actually talk about, and how to. And this will help you to find the ways how to connect to people and make sure that you can start your sales. Apart from that, never forget to bring your business card, because in every networking event, if you find I don't know, potential partner, so you need to follow up on that. Apart from that, make a good impression, and we are going to talk about it a lot today. And last but not least thing is follow up, because even if you had really good conversation with some person who's your potential partner, they have tendency to forget you, not only your name, but you in general. So talking about the networking events, as I mentioned before, so many of them, and it's quite hard to network because if you don't, no one there, you need to really go out of your comfort zone and start talking to people. And it's really important for you to have clear goals, what you want to get at the end of this networking event. And if you have your personal fears or barriers, you better to work on that, because these type of events are actually helping you to develop yourself as a person and also as individual, and it can actually help you to build your image. And talking about making a good impression, so it is really important to have an image, and it's better to start it. And after so many networking events you are going to attend, you will somehow figure out who you are, what's your style, how you network, and what type of people you meet, where you feel comfortable to talk to or approach people, and how to drive conversations. And if you are attending so many people events, you are actually going to meet the same people quite often. And the thing is, your image will talk more about you than sometimes you can talk. So moving on, for do and don'ts for networking events. So first thing is just be yourself. I could give you so many tips and tricks, but yeah, it's quite important to mention that you should not pretend that you are someone else. it is really important to be yourself, be genuine, and have your own style, because we are all different. We came from different cultures, not in terms of country or something like that, but it's just personal culture. There are introvert people, extrovert people. Some of people are very straight to the point, some of them are not. And that's why it's really important to find your own way. Apart from that, on the networking events, it's really good to actually ask questions. And don't try to push your product or service. Mostly try to build connection with people. Because if even you will go to any event, even if you'll go to the party, and if you'll be approached by some pushy people who are just like trying to sell you something which you don't need as you think, but maybe you need, but you're just annoyed by this approach, you can just skip it and ignore it, right? But it is really important that you will just try to build connection. This is the key thing, actually. And how you can build connections by asking questions, trying to talk to people, and do talk to different people about different topics. This is interesting part of networking event. If you want to go there with specific goal, still you need to how to say, keep it in your mind, and just to talk to people, just to build connections first. Because you are, first of all, you are talking to people. And on some networking events, people have tendency just to chill, go around, meet new people. They're not always there for actual networking. So that's why you need to be quite flexible. And yes, talk about different topics. This is how you can build connection. So maybe there are people who really like to talk about cars, or about sports, or about new trends, which, for example, blockchain or Bitcoin thing, which is quite popular right now, or about agile Scrum approach, especially if those people are from IT or telecommunication area. And so many different topics. So if you are going to different circles, so try to observe first, and then ask questions, and try to be curious and interested, and ask as many questions as you want to understand what is this topic about. And then you can get connected to people, because when you are asking questions, people have tendency to reply you and look at you and pay attention on you. Apart from that, don't forget to follow up after any networking event. And don't hand out your business cards to everyone. Even, there are so many funny things about networking. So there are you are going to meet so many interesting people there. And there are some people who are just pushing their cards to you, like you have to accept it, but you actually don't need. And after that, you just throw it away or something. This happens. And yes, give your cards only to those people whom you are really got connection with, and you really into following up on some topics, and build this potential partnership. And don't push people for answers. If you're asking some questions, well, be patient. Maybe you can ask more. But yes, if you don't get the real answer you want, don't try to not be judgmental or something and pushy, because people are different, as I mentioned. Some of people are very specific. Not specific. They are very concrete in terms of answers. Some of people are not, or maybe they are not into sharing some information or something like that. Yeah, and don't spam people during event and after event with your information and product, because sometimes you can go for networking event without even mentioning who are you in terms of your profession and what's your product or service. but still you are building a really nice network based on your personality and based on your like really good connection with them. And after that, you can follow up with them. So yeah, never forget to follow up after event. And one important thing is, do remember names when you are introducing yourself. Make sure that these people will remember you. And how you do this actually, well, it's not only pronouncing your name, but also like you can say like, I'm Dinara, I'm from Kyrgyzstan, and actually people asking where exactly, and I'm saying like, well, Kyrgyzstan is in Central Asia, blah 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 blah. And this is how people get interest and get attention, and this is how I can be remembered, for example. So you can come up with something quite interesting. That's actually on you. It can be anything, and don't and also ask names of people and try to remember it. And next time when you will talk to them or ask them question, for example, you've met someone called Nina or Eric, and if you have question, you can say like, oh Eric, I have a question, or hey Nina, I have a question, and then you can ask, and automatically they will pay attention on you, and they will also remember you because you remember their names. It's quite intuitive thing. Moving on, for the things to keep in mind. First of all, names are important, and it's really and it can work for you. If you remember people and you can remember their profiles, so when you are going to any networking event, just remember whom you are talking to. Name, company, role, what is maybe some interests, and this is how you can find the ways to follow up after. P2P approach always works. What P2P stands for is people to people approach. So wherever you are going, try to keep it simple, try to keep it cool. So you are talking to another people, and don't forget that we are talking to people. I mean, doesn't matter which position this person has, still we're all human beings. So that's why try to not stress out when you are going out of your comfort zone and building new network, new connections. Remember that. And if you are simple, I mean, if you are quite easy in terms of talking, people have tendency to be on the same wave. Your image, oh, sorry, there is typo. Your image makes your work, which means whenever you are talking to people, try to keep your own style. You can actually improvise. You can I don't know, work on your image, try different things. But once you find out what's your own style in terms of communications, in terms of behaviors, and the way you are building connections, it's gonna work for you, and you will be remembered by people, and you can easily start working with them. You may build networking on various events. Well, try to not limit yourself on types of events. Well, you know, you can find quite interesting partners even in pubs and bars. It actually happened to me a few times, which was quite unplanned. It just happened by accident. Apparently, I've met vice president of one company, and she was really interesting person who was also doing a CrossFit. And we were having so much fun that we were sitting in pub, like those people who are in a healthy lifestyle. So we had really good time, like talking about sports, talking about some hobbies, and yeah. And then we got, and then I follow up next time, and then we had some projects actually together, and then yeah, it really worked out, which was quite interesting. And another thing to mention, what you should keep in mind, is communications. Because when you're going on any event, work on your communication skills. It is really important. And try to be clear in terms of your communications. Try to be quite straight to the point, but not in an aggressive way. But when you are talking to people, try to be more specific and try to answer on their questions, not going around or trying to make it very funny. Or, well, humor is always good, but it also has some limits. And in terms of communications itself, it is really important to understand whom are you talking to, what's the profile of this person, and what type of style this person prefers. So that's why you should be quite flexible. You have your own style, but also you need to communicate your ideas based on how to say the word, I forgot, based on individual preference, something like that. Or I'm sorry, I think that's my poor English. Really sorry. Anyways, based on the individualism, I guess, of the person or personality. For example, I am extroverted person. I am really outgoing. Like, I can easily talk to any person actually. But what if I'm talking to introverted person who is not into this, like, so many conversation things, and when we are talking about business, this person doesn't like joke things or like going around, just like very straight to the point, like, who am I, what I want, what can I actually offer, and how I imagine it like working and stuff. So it's really important just to make sure that you are really talking to the person on his or her level. Moving on. After any event, it is really important to follow up. And how can you follow up? Through your LinkedIn account. Make sure that you will have LinkedIn account and you will customize it, and you will have clear profile. It will have information about you, about your experience, maybe some short message or short description of you and I don't know, your profile. And it will somehow give sense to someone you are networking with, to understand who you are, and actually it helps to build you trustworthy connections. Apart from that, it's just business messaging, business emailing, or I don't know how else to call it. To follow up on that, because when you are going to the network, you are talking to people, and then you can easily, like, if you had really good connection, you can ask, like, oh, can I message you on LinkedIn, or can I get your business card? And then you can see the email, and then you can send the message and follow up. But yes, never forget about business ethics and business messaging. How to say, business messaging part, because it's really important how you write emails, how you put there your main objectives, key messages, and next steps. It is really important that you are very clear in terms of your communications via email. Apart from that, another engagement activities. If you have some interesting events happening in ISEC or with your partners, you can also invite there some people and also make your own networking event, or invite people whom you've met on another networking event, and then show them what are you doing and how it happens, and somehow maybe project your potential partnership within this event. And CRM and account management. So any contact you get, any information you get from potential partner, don't forget that you are putting this in a system, and it will help you to follow up on this. You will remember name. System will remind you name, contact, phone or email, and the main topic you are following up with. Website and social nets. Just make sure that you will have something to show to people. On some networking events, when I had, we'll share some my experience. I was attending few events, and it was crucial for me to have information about ISEC, because I was not bringing my laptop, I was not bringing any printed materials. I just had my phone, and I just made sure that we will have everything for me to build networking on some events. So when I was talking to people, after some ice breaking, after some good chats, I was talking about ISEC and what we do there. And then I was just showing our Instagram page or Facebook page. I was just showing the pictures of different events, like, oh, look, this is event we got last summer. So we had Global Village, for example. So we had different participants from different, like interns from different countries, and this is how it works. And it was mostly like marketing activity. I was actually selling even global villages for partners, for companies, for NGOs. They were actually paying money for that. We never had any global village without partners. So we always had someone, and it was mostly because of me and members from my department. So I was just showing like, oh, look, this is our event. It was happening in a big mall. And it's like we had, for example, more than 500 or 1,000 visitors, and this is how booth looks like, and that we had stage, we had performance, and then we had these banners, and these are logos, blah blah blah. So I had something to show and prove that this is actually works, this is what we actually have, and this is the product or service I can offer, being sure that we will deliver the same and even better if this potential partner is going to join us. Also, I could show like, oh, this is our website, this is how it works, this is how we are making exchanges, and this is how, where we put logo of our partners, blah, 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 or showing Instagram. So it was pretty useful, and it was helping me to communicate business model of ISEC to different companies. And that's why it's pretty important to have something for you to share, because when you're talking, it's one thing, but when you are showing to people, that's another thing, and it actually helps you even more. Another thing, it's people in a cycle. So on networking event, you meet one person, another person, third, and more. And the thing is, these people have also network, huge network. And if you build really good connection with one, you can have a huge opportunity to meet other people from maybe the same area or different areas, and you can network with them. So what happened to me when I was MCP? We had one potential partner whom we just invited as a speaker. So that's the thing. There are different ways how to source potential partners, and we just went for one event, and there were so many delegates, and I was just talking to different people. And apparently, one guy, he was owner of food network, not network. So he had different restaurants. So it was like small restaurant company or holding, so with different brands. So we had some conversation, and and then my my teammate was following up after that, and then we just invited him as a speaker for our Used to Business forum, and he came there. So we just follow up there, and we had good conversation. And then I was explaining how ISEC works, because he was on our event and he was asking, how do you guys do it? It's really good level. So people are paying for your event, and it's in a fancy hotel, and you are delivering catering, and the content is very is on high quality. How you guys are doing this, and what is actually ISEC is about, because you said that it's exchange. And I started to explain business model and everything. And he is like, wow, this is great. And you are great. You people of ISEC are amazing. And I really want to collaborate with you, and I really want iSeekers to work with me in the future. And what he did, he introduced us for his network. Apparently, he was a chairman of Rotary Club, which is one of the biggest business networking club in the world. And he just invited us for their meeting, and he asked me to prepare some presentation about our organization and how we can collaborate with corporate sector. That's what we did, and we got even more partners. So we had pretty good partnerships by then. But the reason I'm sharing that is just keep in mind that every connection is important. Maybe you can think like, this networking event is quite boring. I don't know whom I can talk to. I don't see the potential partners. I don't know what is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. But still, you can miss so many opportunities. By accident, you can talk to anyone. Apparently, these people can be someone, and it can actually help you to build your project path. I don't know, positively affect your work in ISEC. So mostly that's it. And don't forget that it all connects to sales, because it's the first part, which is establishing the relationship, which is the most challenging one. But then you have another things to follow after. But if you will build this part in a good way, you will have a high opportunity to have these parts in a simplified way. It always depends on the way how you build your partnership, how you establish your relationship. Like, imagine that like it's with your potential friend. You just met someone, and you spent really good time, or maybe it's like future boyfriend or girlfriend. It actually works almost the same. And it depends, are you going to match by your interest? And if you match, then you have a high opportunity to collaborate in the future and be partners. So that's why make sure that you will do everything from your side to attend these networking events. Do your homework. Be prepared for these events. Make sure that you know what is this event about. Make sure that you know the audience. Make sure what you want by the end of this event, and make sure that you are gonna talk to so many people on various topics. Don't forget your business cards and share it with those people whom you are gonna follow up with after. And work on your image. And don't forget that you are unique and you can have your own style. And never forget to follow up, because it's actually on your hand. So that's pretty it. And now we have space for question and answers if you have. So Cesar, I'm giving it to you.
Perfect. Okay, I just want to let you know that I don't know why every time I'm broadcasting from my computer, it doesn't charge. So if something happens and my computer goes off, you already know why. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions. So Claudia, Arun, do you have any questions? Okay, there's a question like, what tip do you have? Like, for example, when you approach someone and you give them a pitch about ISEC, it's kind of difficult for them to grasp what ISEC is.
Mm-hmm.
So what tips would you give our members in order to pitch ISEC effectively?
That's actually a very good question. I was always kept in mind that ISEC is let's say it's elephant, but you need to serve it it's like a small bird or something. Well, first of all, when you are sharing externally to companies, never forget about what is written in ISIC way. That's actually pretty enough for the start, but it's just the way how you can communicate it. So first is just international platform for young people to explore and develop their leadership potential. But how we do it is through exchange. But sometimes it's quite hard to communicate this in this way. But you can start saying, like, ISIC is a youth-run organization, and yeah, we are doing different social projects. We are collaborating with business sector, with NGOs, blah blah blah. And then you can mention that we are international organization, so it just will give them sense that we have a huge network, and they will see some opportunities with that. And say that it's mostly like youth-run organization, and we have members from universities, means that we have access to universities, and it gives them sense about marketing among students. If they have some products or something, still with ISAC they have opportunity for that. Mention that we do exchange, and we have a few programs. We are actually generating money, because it's really important to mention that ISAC has its own business model, and we have projects which are financially sustainable. It will just give them some message that we are trustworthy. So basically, you can just say that ISIC is international youth-run organization, and we do exchanges. We do volunteering exchanges and professional exchanges. We run social projects, and we exist in few countries. And we are collaborating with business sector and with NGO, which is quite important. And we are interested to collaborate, for example, with them, and they will ask questions. And when they ask questions, then you start to answer and then deliver more information about ISAC. The thing is, when you are pitching about ISAC, try to give short messages and let them ask you questions, just like some triggers. Yeah, basically that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a question from Arun from Link Shopping. The question goes, I really find it hard to remember the names and what they do, and I get embarrassed whenever I meet them the second time. Any tips to remember their contact?
Well, welcome to my club, because I'm the person who has troubles with names since my childhood, but since it's still my huge challenge. I mean, still. And whenever I meet people, I try not mention names if I don't remember. But when the next time I see, I just say like, "Oh, you actually have interesting name. I just wonder what does it mean." So you can try that, and actually it works. Or if you are not interested, I mean, in the meaning, because I'm always interested what does mean name, is just my personal thing. But if I don't remember the name, I'm just being honest and saying like, I'm really sorry, I remember you, but I forgot your name. And people just say that because you're just honest, and try not be like, don't be afraid to say such things, because it's really important for you to keep your image. If you're an honest person, you're just being honest. But if you're interested in the meaning of name, like, still ask. And one last thing, that's another thing how I remember the names, is just when I look at people, I just check, do they match the way they look and the name they're saying, do they really match? Then I somehow remember it, because since I'm speaking Russian, is my native language, if these names are somehow connected to this Slavic types of names or Asian type of names, like Central Asian, not Asia Pacific names, I actually remember it like fast. But when it comes like to unique names, I always ask, what does mean your name? And when they're explaining it, for example, they said, oh, my name means flower. So next time when I meet them, I say, hey, flower, how are you? And actually they're just making like, small ice breaking. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Mhm. Okay, very good. Any other question? Okay, no. Okay, so actually I'll have to end the broadcast here because I want to make sure that my computer will survive and it will not shut down.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you very much, Dinara, for joining us, for sharing your experience, and so thank you. Each other in the conference and impact that is happening this week. Next week we will not have a new webinar for Get the Gold. I will let you know when the next webinar will happen.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, thank you guys for attention, and I wish you all the best and enjoy your IX experience and enjoy sales. It's really awesome. Salespeople are the best. Remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best, guys. Thank you.
Bye.